So let's discuss the remaining part, and here we'll be discussing which of the following are the important floral rewards to the animal pollinators. So floral fragrance and calcium crystals क्या करेंगे? Protein pellicle and stigmatic its color and large size of flowers. Important floral rewards are nectar and pollen grains, that is nutritive pollen grains. So D is the correct option. Which one of the following may require pollinators but is genetically similar to autogamy? Genetically similar to autogamy is gytinogamy. एक ही प्लांट है, दो अलग अलग फ्लावर्स से कर दिए बस. Which one of the following statements is not true? The flower pollinated by flies and bats secrete foul odor to attract them. Yes, honey is made by bees by digesting pollen collected from flowers. Wrong. This is the wrong statement because not by digesting nectar. It is a nectar. बचपन से पढ़ के आए. Through a process of regurgitation and evaporation, honeybees transform saccharides, carbohydrates into honey by regurgitating it a number of times until partially digested. The bees do the regurgitation and digestion as a group. After the last regurgitation, the aqueous solution is still high in water. The process continues by evaporation of much of the water and enzymatic in transformation. Honey is produced by bees as a food source. The hilum is a scar on the seed. A micropyle was present where funicle was attached. So ovule is an integumented megasporangia found in spermatophytes which develops into seed after fertilization. Angiosperm ovule is typically an ovoid and whitish shape. So guys, the next question is transmission tissue is a characteristic feature of. So this is a transmission tissue is nothing but it can be anything, but we take it as solid style. Style is traversed by the pollen tube to reach the ovule. It is of two types. One is hollow and solid. In hollow style, the stylar canal is lined by glandular cells. Okay. So it's nothing but transmission tissue. Style is traversed by the pollen tube to reach the ovule. Yes, it is two types, hollow and solid. In hollow, usually multinucleate and polyploid, whereas solid has a core of transmitting tissue, compound of thin walled cells through which the pollen tube moves. Composed of thin walled cells, जिससे pollen tube pass होता है. Okay. Next question, gytinogamy involves fertilization of a flower by the pollen from anther, flower of the same plant. See, fertilization of a flower by the pollen from another flower. Gytinogamy, fertilization of a flower by the pollen from a flower of another plant belonging to a distant, not distant, same population. Fertilization of a flower by the pollen from a flower of another plant in the same population. C is the correct. First option, let's see, fertilization of a flower by pollen from another flower of the same plant. This is gytinogamy. Fertilization of a flower by pollen from the same flower. This is called autogamy. Fertilization of a flower by pollen from a flower of another plant in the same population. This is called xenogamy. Of a flower by the pollen of the from a flower of another plant from a distant. This is not possible at all. Distant population not possible. Pollen tablets available in the market for supplementing food. Function of filiform apparatus is to guide the entry of pollen tube. Advantage of cleistogamy is cleistogamy means they have to depend on pollinators. High genetic variability is the thing. Cleistogamy is nothing but closed flowers. Flowers are closed, no dependence of pollinators. Viviparity, no. It is seen, marshy bonds like mangroves. High genetic variability, no. Advantage of clistogamies, no dependence on pollinators, because chasmogamous flowers are open, clistogamous flowers are closed. So in that autogamy takes place. Megasporangium is equivalent to. So megasporangium is equivalent to what? Just now I said it is equivalent to ovule. So see how to remember this. Megasporangium is ovule. Ovule. Megasporangium. In a flower, female flower, there's a pistil, that is also called carpel. The three parts, we'll discuss that. And the gynoecium part, it consists of ovary, right? Ovary consists of ovules. Ovule is nothing but mega part, megasporangium. Okay, which one of the following statements is correct? Endothecium produces the microspores. Is it? Tapetum nourishes the developing plant. This is the correct one. A microsporangium is generally surrounded by 4 wall layers: epidermis, endothecium, middle layers, tapetum. Outer 3 wall layers perform the function of protection and help in dehiscence of anther to release the pollen. See, outer 3 wall layers, they help in protection and dehiscence, because they are outer, so they have to protect, and they help in dehiscence to release the pollen out. But nourishing is tapetum. The 4 layers actually: epidermis, endothecium, middle layer, tapetum. So epidermis, outer one, then inside the epidermis, endothecium, inside endothecium, middle layer after tapetum. Tapetum has a nutrition because it is closest to the pollen tube, right? Pollen grain, developing pollen grain. Pollen tube is formed after when it passes through the pistil, right? Or style, you can say, passes to the style. The innermost wall layer of tapetum is the tapetum. It nourishes the developing pollen grain. Cell of the tapetum, food rich, possess dense cytoplasm, generally have more than one nucleus. They disintegrate to liberate the contents, which is absorbed by the developing spores. Next question. Okay, animal vectors are required for pollination in Vallisneria, water. Cucumber, yes. And animal is not required. Mulberry, okay. If you see in cucumber, see in maize are cereals, right? Mulberry also wind pollination takes place. Cucumber, entomophily, that is okay, an organism, an animal is required for pollination. Vallisneria, water pollination. So maize and mulberry, they are grasses, so wind pollination is required. Megaspores are produced from the megaspore mother cell after. See, this question is repeated. Previously also we have did this. Megaspores are produced from the megaspore mother cell by meiotic division. No, mother cell will do meiotic division. So from this chapter, usually questions are repeated. Which of the following statements is correct? Listogamous flowers are always autogamous. Yeah. Xenogamy occurs only by wind pollination. No. Entomophily, hydrophily, so many sources are there. Chasmogamous flowers do not open at all. They are open. Chasmogamous open. Geitonogamy involves the pollen and stigma of flowers of different plants. Same plant but of different flowers. So the correct option is first option. It is autogamous. As the flowers never open in clistogamous, there is no alternative of self pollination. So it is invariably autogamous. In xenogamy, so I have seen. Let's talk about statements is correct. Spore can be degraded by enzymes. Never. Spore is made up of inorganic materials, right? Sporopollenin can withstand high temperatures. Just so no. Sporopollenin is made up of inorganic. No, it is made up of organic. Sporopollenin is resistant to chemicals and biological decomposition, withstand high temperatures and strong acids and alkalis. This is why preserved for long periods in fossil deposits. Addition, pollen wall possess protein for enzymatic and compatibility reactions. So sporopollenin is what? It is organic materials. इनऑर्गेनिक से कुछ बनता है क्या? नहीं बनता ना. Both autogamy and geitonogamy prevented it. Papaya again repeated. An organic substance. Autogamy and geitonogamy are prevented in papaya. What about cucumber? Autogamy and geitonogamy are two forms of self-pollination. Autogamy, pollen falls on stigma of the same flower, while in geitonogamy, pollen from flower. So papaya is dioecious plant. Cucumber is also dioecious, but the problem is its flowers are bisexual. In an organic substance that can withstand environmental extremities and cannot be degraded by an enzyme. Sporopollenin. In absence of pollinating agent, seed setting is assured in Commelina, because Commelina is having callistogamous flowers. Viola, oxalis, Commelina, common pansy. Viola is also called common pansy. COV, you have to remember cow plants, V, not W, COW. Instead, you have to remember COV. Commelina, oxalis, Viola, common pansy. But these two types of flowers, chasmogamous, which are similar to flowers of other species with exposed anthers, and stigma and clistogamous flowers which do not open at all. Okay, so guys, we'll discuss in remaining in the next video. Thank you so much.